But we did do quite a bit of protesting, protesting against apartheid, which was very empowering, because knowing the stories of my parents and the struggles that they faced, and now being all the way on the other side of the world, and asking for justice for my cousins and aunts and uncles who were still back home, who were, things were really ramping up at that time, so much so that there was like probably a decade and a half, which we weren't going to South Africa because they were like, oh, they don't like Americans here. You will not be safe, so do not come. So we were so distanced from them during that decade or so. And so just to know that I could protest our university and divesting in South Africa, and knowing that I have a voice, and I was, the story I always give for that is it takes everybody to build a spark. And we had my cousins who were protesting and doing whatever they could for the universities there. My aunts and uncles were meeting and trying to affect change there. But what happens in that country is not going to affect change until the rest of the world gets on board with that. And so the work that we were doing at the university, or the whole UT system, in arguing and fighting against apartheid and boycotting companies, but it takes mobilizations from everybody. So every time you protest, you're creating a spark.
All right, so back in the day, when you'd send in an ad in by snail mail, by paper, and include your check and a nice little letter about what you're advertising, my mother talked about yoga. And that paper wrote her a letter saying, we're not that kind of paper. And they refused to place the ad. And much to their credit, a little while later, I think after maybe a couple of conversations, they came to find out that yoga was not a religion and was not promoting anything nefarious, but in fact was there for health and well-being. And so much to their credit, they sent out a reporter to then talk about yoga, and then put this huge, conversation in the newspaper. And there's little baby Sandhya.
Maybe 3-4 months after I moved here is when I found out through just watching newspaper ads that there was something very small written that said, "Cricket, call us at this number." I was so excited. It was unbelievable. So that's how it all started. And that was 1984. 85. I came here in 84 December, and this happened 85. I just can't believe. I called the number and the guy answered. He was the owner of a motel. Not hotel, but motel. And he was working the desk, and so he talked to me. His name is Suhas Naik. He talked to me and he says, okay, and I said, where are you located, and all those things. I was so excited. I said, do you have a cricket bat and a ball at this stage in your motel? And he said, yeah, I do. And I didn't even tell him. I just drove down there, found a way to get down there, went down there, and I was so excited. I told him, I said, man, you got to find somebody to work the desk for the next hour. Let's go to the ground. I haven't touched a bat or a ball in 2 years. That's not me. And so it was very exciting, a great day that made my life and my future in Dallas from that day on. I know I never tried to go out of Dallas, no matter what, because this was going to be my place thanks to cricket.
When people get together and talk, something magical happens. And we want to create that. We want to create that and happen. We want Dallas to become a great city. We think Dallas is a good city. We think Dallas, just like all of the cities of the South, has a very dark past. We know that because the effects of that dark past are still with us. All you have to do is travel just a few miles south of here, and you see the effects of racism, segregation, bigotry, and those effects are still with us. We want Dallas to move forward. Dallas aspires to become an international city. It's not yet. We think that the only way Dallas will become an international city will be if it picks up the mantle of becoming a human rights city.
You see, I chose photography in general to, just like that's my only, I was writing it last night. That's the only language I know, right? So I would love to be remembered, or if people choose to remember me, I feel it's gonna be through my photographs I've ever taken. And then Dallas is not the only place I've lived in the States. It's like the fourth or fifth city. And every city I've been toward, lived in, I want to be remembered through my photographs, and that freezes time, right? That is the only language. A person might not be able to read a newspaper or a book or a magazine, but they can read a photograph. So when a person read my photograph, my name should pop up in their mind, or even a personal birthday, maybe a personal photograph, right? I take a photo of you in a birthday. Okay, yeah, Shafqat took that photo. So if people, that's a huge privilege to be, I get to do things every day that people get to do in a vacation. That's how I like to be remembered.